it's Griffin and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be doing a one-word story time thing. So basically, you guys tweeted me one word. You guys all tweeted me separate words. And an example of something someone tweeted is Dutch, online, book. Those are just a few words that pull up when I open my Twitter. I'm going to be telling you stories based off of words that I've chosen. And I'm also going to be baking a cake at the same time. So I'm going to be having a little bit of a difficult time focusing probably, but let's see how this goes. Here's the bag of stuff I got at the store. I got a tip and coupler set so I can make cute designs. I got disposable decorating bags. I got writing icing because I want to be decorative. They only had Disney's frozen baking cups, so I was kind of forced to get these. I have some leftover sprinkles from Valentine's Day. Why am I doing this? I just cleaned my stove. I got vanilla creamy supreme Pillsbury frosting. And last but not least, I got gluten-free cake because I'm gluten-free, or at least I should be, because I got blood work done and they told me that I had a gluten intolerance. So I should probably be gluten-free, but this is as close as we're gonna get. Step number 1 is to preheat the oven. So I'm going to preheat it to 350. Number 2 is to mix the cake mix, water, butter, and eggs in a large bowl. Oh, I forgot I'm supposed to be doing stories. So the first word is fair. So let's see. When I don't know, it was one of my birthdays and I wanted to go to the Arizona State Fair. So I brought my friend Ethan, my friend Ryan. Actually, I think I only had 2 friends and I brought them. We were going on rides and no one wanted to go on the zipper with me. And the zipper has always been one of my favorite rides. If you don't know what it is, look it up. It's like a spinny, it looks like, I don't know. It's so confusing, but it's so much fun. So no one wanted to go with me and I was really upset by that. So I started throwing a fit. And I think I was turning 12, maybe 13, possibly. Oh, this smells gross. Maybe I shouldn't have gone gluten-free. Oh wait, I think that's my oven. I had a crush on this kid named Ethan, and I don't know why I had a crush on him. It was probably one of the most unreasonable crushes I had. And I was throwing a fit and crying and asking my dad if he would go on the ride with me. And finally my dad was like, fine, I'll go on the ride with you if you just stop crying. And we start going towards the ride and they're like, oh, you don't have a wristband, you can't come on the ride. My dad's like, no, I have tickets, and they weren't letting him on the ride. And so I started crying again. And then they're like, oh, fine, you can go on the ride. Then at that point, I already cried and ran away, so it was too late for me to go on the ride. So that's how my birthday went. Next is sushi. So let's see. This one time, Mikey, Luke, and I were on our way to get sushi because I had been craving sushi for 4 days in a row, and no one was getting sushi with me. So we were on our way to go get sushi, and Mikey was driving my car. We were in Studio City on our way to Dojo Sushi. And we go to turn lanes because we missed the turn to get into the sushi place. And this car flies out of nowhere and smacks into us, and we got in a car accident. And I felt really bad because Mikey was driving my car. He was nervous about it, obviously. And I just felt really bad about the entire situation, especially because Mikey hasn't driven in a long time because he doesn't have a car in LA. So it was he's always Ubering. And everyone was okay, but the guy ended up, he told us, yeah, it's our fault. And then he's like, I'm gonna go smoke weed after this. And we were like, what the heck? And then after, when insurance was trying to deal with everything, he was like, oh, it wasn't my fault. And we were like, you told us that you would take blame for it. So anyway, it was dumb. And we got in a car accident, so it was fun. So I might have softened the butter too much because now it's boiling. So I'm gonna let that sit for a second so it unsoftens. In the meantime, I'm gonna get eggs. Okay, let's see what our next word is. School! Everyone's favorite thing in the entire world. So, let's see. One time I thought it was a good idea to sing Let's Dance by Miley Cyrus. It was when she first released her album that included both Hannah Montana and Miley. My school just opened up this cafe thing where people can sing at lunch. Why don't I sing Let's Dance at lunch? Worst decision I think I've ever made. I went to the cafeteria that day and I was ready to basically sing my heart out. I get up there, wait, 1 cup of water, and they start the song. And the song starts with Let's Dance, and that's how it begins, I think, as far as I can remember. And I did it kind of at first, and I was like, And then I ran away crying. So basically, I think what you've learned so far from this video is that I solve all my problems by crying. It works. No, it doesn't. It's a bad idea. Next word, Trump. Everyone's favorite word right now. They're throwing it around left and right. I feel like half of my generation doesn't even know anything about Donald Trump, but yet they have tweets like, ew, why would you vote for Donald Trump? But really, they have no idea what they're saying. So, like, honestly, why would you vote for Donald Trump? I don't know. It's not a good voting choice in my opinion. But everybody is entitled to their own opinions. Anywho, story time about Donald Trump. So I was sitting right over there just a few days ago, and John Oliver released a video. It was about Donald Trump, and it was like Donald Drumpf or something. Look, this is the only cupcake thing I have, so it's just gonna have to work. So I was sitting over there and I was watching the video with Mikey, and it was a John Oliver video, and he's talking about Donald Trump, and he's talking about how people have all these ideas of how Donald Trump means, like the word Trump means success, all that stuff like that, and how his last name's actually Donald Drumpf because someone in his family changed his name. I don't know. It was funny. I will link it down below because it's really funny, and I think all of you guys should be educated on it, and you guys would probably find it funny, whether or not you like Donald Trump. I think it's funny. John Oliver, I don't know if they're actually selling them, but they had in the on the show, they were like, and we're selling Make Donald Drumpf Again or something hats, and I kind of want a hat. So Mom, if you're watching this, you should get a hat so I can steal it from you. Next, London. So I went to London probably 2 years ago, and this was about the time that I started doing YouTube, and no one at my school understood what I was doing, why I was doing it. And when I was in London, at this point, I had no friends. And I would try to hang out with like a certain group of people because like that was who I used to be friends with. And like, I guess I just didn't not want to have friends or something. I don't know. My mind thought that if I hung out with them long enough, they would not like me anymore. And then I found out that one of the girls that I was friends with watched her videos with my brother, and they would sit there and make fun of them. I was devastated because she was probably one of the only people that I was actually truly friends with. And then I had to spend 2 weeks in London with her, so that was fun. Next, Obama. My last story was about a school trip. My school would take trips every year. In 8th grade, I took a trip to the East Coast. So I went to Washington, D.C., I went all over. And there was this teacher who really didn't like me. And that's okay, because not everyone's gonna like me, whatever. But this teacher in particular, I promise you, went out of her way to make my life suck. We were on that trip, and we were at the White House. And obviously Obama's president. And I was like, you know, I like Obama. She came up behind me and she was like, you can never say his name around me again. And like got all crazy. And then she's like, President Bush was the best president we ever had. George W. Bush. And I was like, okay. And I was like so nervous, and I couldn't say anything about it because she was actually like insane. So that was how my 8th grade trip went. Set timer for 20 minutes. These are gonna take 20 minutes to bake, so I will be back in 20 minutes. My timer ended, so it is time to take them out of the oven. Okay, not too shabby. We're gonna set a 5-minute timer and come back. BRB. We are back! Anywho, next word is cuticle. I don't have a story about cuticles, but do you ever just get really bad cuticles and you don't know what to do about it, and then you pick it and then it just hurts all freaking day? Cuticles suck, man. Next word is Panera. Okay, well, I went to Panera the other day. It was probably one of the scariest moments of my life. So I went with Mikey, and before we went to Panera, we had to stop at CVS because I needed an acid reducer because I probably have one of the world's worst stomachs. When we got out of the car, we parked behind CVS, might I add. And when we got out of the car, there was like 2 guys dumpster diving and a lady holding her dog outside the store, and she was like, do you guys have any spare change? I only had my card, so I said, no, sorry, I only have my debit card with me. I don't have any spare change right now. And she was like, okay. And she looked like kind of annoyed, and I was like, okay, sorry. So we went inside, and one of the guys who was dumpster diving followed Mikey and I inside. And we were like, okay, that's sketch. Do we run? Do we hide? Like, we just kept going about our normal business. cupcakes. And then we went outside and found out the lady who had the dog was friends with the two guys. She gave the dog to one of the guys and followed Mikey and I all the way over to Panera. And she was pretending to like do stuff with her coffee just so that she could follow us in there and see what we were doing. And it was really sketchy. We go to leave Panera and she's nowhere to be seen. The two guys that were dumpster diving are in a car, and one of them, just one of them was in a car, and one of them follows us over to a cafe because we went over to a different cafe to meet our friends there. And then I wanted In-N-Out and they followed us to In-N-Out. And that was probably the creepiest thing, and they stopped following us after In-N-Out, but it was really freaky because like it just doesn't make sense. And I know that they were on drugs because their eyes were like really red and everything, but it was still really freaky and weird experience. Guys, I finished the cupcake and I'm all out of words. That was my last word. So it was like perfect timing. Let's take a look at the cupcakes and see if they're edible. I actually have 6 friends coming over and there are only 6 cupcakes, so I'm probably going to split one with Mikey when he gets here. But that is it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out some of my social medias. I will have them linked down below, and hopefully I will see you guys later. Bye!